Good day, hello, and welcome back. It seems you're still searching for simple ASMR. I'm very glad to see that you have returned, or perhaps you are new. However, I have recently returned from a short hiatus, but rest assured we are back on track. We'll continue to keep producing ASMR. I'm glad that you have decided to join me or remain on my ASMR journey with me. Now today's video is going to focus on just one object, which is this pair of headphones. Now, the reason is because this simple looking set of headphones is brimming with different ASMR triggers and tingles, and I was recently producing a short with these said headphones. Practicing with shorts to get back into the rhythm of my ASMR artistry, and you can peruse those at your discretion. And I found that this headset had many different facets and triggers that could be used to produce all kinds of tingles. So today we'll work through the headset sounds and hopefully help you drift off into a nice deep sleep, or perhaps just relax and rest, which I find ASMR helps with greatly. So please don some headphones, or perhaps listen without, but sit back and relax and enjoy. See, the first thing I noticed about these headphones were these very soft and squishy earpads, which when tapped make a very nice, gentle and equally as squidgy sound. It's quite a delicate sound, but very soothing, I think. There's also this kind of squidgy sound. It's not quite tapping, but it's more springing, I suppose is the word. However, I'm not particularly well versed on springing ASMR, so I hope it sounds nice. The other advantage to these very padded earmuffs or earpieces is that they make it quite nice. I suppose you'd call it clapping or clopping sound. It's not too harsh. see, that's three. Yes, three different triggers we could get out of just one section of the headphone, which I think is quite interesting. Now the next section of the headphone, which I found to be very interesting, was this leather part up here. And of course leather makes nice tapping sounds, which we'll be exploring. There's also this sewn section, which makes rather nice scratching sounds. It's a kind of ridged or ribbed edge. Of course, there's just nice scratching on leather, which is always a good sound. As good as the tapping is on leather, which I do like because it's not as harsh, it's more dulcet and easier on the ear. I think the scratching of the stitching is just delightful. Almost sounds like a cat purring. So already two very simple parts of the headset, but quite a few different sounds and triggers, which is why I thought this piece was so interesting. And next, of course, you just have the standard plastic tapping, but because the insides are mostly hollow, there's obviously a few electronic components. The tapping sound can reverberate on the inside and make a very nice tapping sound. The keen-eyed amongst you will have noticed that there is still the plastic seal on. Now I don't know whether or not taking that off is worth the ASMR video, because of course that in itself would bring great sensual pleasure. Perhaps it is high time the plastic came off. Not sure if it will make sounds, but I know visually it's very satisfying. There is one side off. Actually, I suppose you can get some mild crinkling sounds just to switch things up. I was not expecting to include crinkling sounds in this video, I'll be honest, but there we go. And now the right ear. Hopefully another clean pull. Perfect. I will admit I'm quite looking forward to watching that back, because from my perspective it was rather hard to see, so I'm hoping it was enjoyable. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds as if it's changed the tone of the tapping. It's slightly higher pitched, but still pleasant. So far we've seen some squishier tapping sounds, some spongy sounds, some leather tapping, a bit more dulcet, some nice scratching that resembles purring. And two different tones of hollow plastic tapping, with also some nice crinkly sounds in the middle. But the next part of the headset, which I found to be surprisingly enjoyable, was this button control that came with it. I'm going to detach the headphone part of this so I can use two hands, which I think is much better. Now there's this middle button here that makes some nice clicking sounds. Now the function of this, because these are, I should have mentioned, gaming headphones, this button's function is to create surround sound hearing. So if I'm playing a game in which I need to hear somebody, such as a game like Fortnite, say, I can know exactly where the footsteps are coming from. Now, I mustn't get carried away here because just clicking is actually very fun, and I could spend a long time just pressing this button. However, there are others, such as the volume control buttons. And there are two others, which is a volume control button, or buttons, which increase or decrease the volume that comes from the game compared to other applications I have open, such as music or ASMR. So if I just wanted to relax, I would press this button all the way down, so that my other application, my YouTube ASMR videos, were louder than the game, so I could just relax. But of course that means there are now 4 buttons to press, which is a lot of clicky sounds. Again, I have to be careful because it is a lot of fun just pressing buttons, as strange as that sounds. There is also a mute and unmute button on the side, which also makes quite nice clicking sounds. A lot of buttons on this small controller, but one which can be pressed in tangent with the other 4. This almost feels like a very small Nintendo DS console. What I'm missing is another button here, and it would be L and R. And then the movement and A-B keys. And of course, there's the middle button, which is slightly louder, but still, I think, click-inducing. And then there is just one other small part on the back, which is, although seemingly small, just a clip. I think if we're gentle enough, we can also make some tapping sounds. It all can be used in tandem with the other buttons. With a lot of difficulty. But as you can see, just from one item, just an ordinary headset, we could produce a swathe and a great variety of tingles and triggers. I do hope you enjoyed every single last one, especially the cellophane wrap pulling, which I think is always a treasure to get to do. However, that is going to be the end of tonight's ASMR video. But in another sense, it's the start of our ASMR journey once again, or the recommendation, I should say. But as ever, thank you very much for watching. And if you got this far, I do apologise for not sending you to sleep sooner. However, good night.